kind of insights with which you can take a decision about enrolling into this program. So this is my goal. I hope that by the time we end this session, you will be able to figure out whether this program meets your needs, whether you qualify for participation, what is the eligibility criteria to participate in this program or to take an admission into this program. You would get an understanding of the eligibility criteria of this program. What does this feel to be the part of this program? And the reason why I'm saying why you would get the feel to be the part of this program, because today we have an alum of PGMAX, and she will be sharing her insights or her experiences of going through this program. So during this session of next 1 hour, I will be requesting her to talk about a few aspects of this program, and she will be able to share that, and that will help you get a feel about what does it take for a student or for a participant to be a student of this program, and how your learning or journey continues once you enroll into the PGMAX program. And then we also talk about the application process. How do you go about launching your application process? How do you manage your application process? What kind of requirements you need to apply to this program? So we'll also talk about that in this session. So before I start, I wanted to introduce Nilima Thota. She is an alum from class of 2018, PGMAX class of 18. Currently, she is a founder and CEO of Sakarta Foundation. It's an NGO. And she will be sharing her experiences about as a student of this program. And now she's an alum. She will also be sharing her experiences of an alum of PGMAX program. So Nilima, do you want to introduce yourself? Maybe you can talk about your career, where you started, and how you went about taking a decision to apply to this program, and where you are right now. Nilima?
Thank you, Narottam. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the info session. So as Narottam has made the initial introductions, class of 2018, and I founded Sakrita as a trust that would work on poverty elevation with a 360-degree approach. So we work in small towns where we try to elevate poverty for the communities through interventions of healthcare, education, as well as the livelihood opportunities, because we want them to be sustainable. So my journey to this level where I have reached has been over 2 decades. I started with the government first, and then I worked with the United Nations. I was in the US for almost 8 years before I decided to come back to India. Then again, I was with the government, and then I worked with Asian Development Bank in partnership with World Bank and other United Nations organizations, and made a switch to the foundations. I was associated with Argyam, which is run by Rohini Nilakani, so which looks into safe water and sanitation for all. And I built the urban program ground up for them. And so while I was engaging in all of this, one of the things I found missing where we could really make a huge impact was to bring some of this knowledge from the corporates, right? So we are always looking at not-for-profit direction and not-for-profit strategies when we look at societal needs and when we look at development, but those are not sustainable. And even the governments, there's a paradigm shift the way the governments are looking at it. So it was very important for us to bring some of these nuances from the business world, from the business principles back to this sector, the development sector, and see how that would contribute towards cost recovery of most of these services that are delivered, the basic services. And while we are helping the communities, develop these livelihood opportunities or income generation activities, so how do we build these enterprises, right? Social enterprises, for-profit social enterprises. So bringing those principles back here and looking at what will then provide that stability and the sustainability. So that was, in the constant search for reinvention, right? When you have to contribute at such a level, you have to look at reinventing yourself. And then how do you pivot yourself into newer directions? And how do you, more importantly, guide communities to do that? So it's not just about, one organization trying to do it or an individual trying to do it, but you need to really have many people rally behind you, right? You need to form the networks. You need to look at the power of networks, power of aggregators. So looking at all of that, one of my main aim was to reinvent myself and then look at how can I bring all of this, right? And ISB was situated amongst all the business schools with the largest network it had of its alumni, be it, or the faculty globally, or even within the industries, with the government, and so on and so forth. And besides that, the global faculty, of course, right? Access to a huge a diverse mix of the global faculty that you could really have conversations with, brainstorming sessions, easy access. And the curriculum itself, of course, stands out in the way it's built, and then the program structure and everything. So that was my pivoting point, and I landed in ISB. But even before that, I had been to ISB to recruit when I was at the foundation. And after this, I also am a senior advisor to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where I help the global team in shaping investments in South Asia, Southeast Asia, especially in Bangladesh, Nepal, Cambodia, and other areas. So it's been an enriching experience, and that I started after I finished ISB. So all the experience I've gained here has helped me greatly to deliver more effectively and more efficiently in the new roles that I've taken up after I graduated. So, I think I'll stop it here in terms of my introduction and how I segued into coming back to business curriculum and all of that, and how I try to integrate the both. And over to you, Narottam. Back to you.
Sure. Well, thank you, Nilima. This is very helpful. Your introduction will help people to connect with sharing your experiences that you'll be doing in the later part of this presentation. One thing I wanted to add in this talk is that I just want to say the format of this session. So initially, for the first 45 minutes, we will be going through this presentation, and after that, we will be taking the Q&A sessions. So whatever questions that come to your mind while we are going through this presentation, please note down those questions. And after that, once we finish this presentation, then we will be taking the Q&A, and we will be encouraging each one of you to ask as many questions as possible. And we will be here till everybody has clarified whatever questions you have. But my goal is to, through this presentation, my goal is to answer most of those queries, but still, if you're not able to answer those queries through this presentation, please feel free in asking those questions in the second part of the session, which is the Q&A session. So that's what we will be doing in this session. That's the format. I thought I'll just talk about this format so that you know what is coming up for the next 1.5 hours. But before I start, I also wanted to talk about one session that we are doing next Saturday at 5 p.m. On Saturday, we do this masterclass where one of the ISB faculty, Professor Deepa Manishri, will be talking about a topic called digital disruptions, incumbent dilemmas and solutions. So if you want to get an experience of what does it take to study under ISB faculty, if you want to get experience of what kind of knowledge you would get by participating in this program or any of the executive MBA programs that ISB has, I would encourage you to participate in this masterclass, just be an attendee of this masterclass, and you would get a great insight about the topic that Professor Deepa Mani will be talking about. So it's at 5 p.m. same time, Saturday. If you want to register, you can go to our website, and on our website there's an admission event section. You can go there and you can register yourself, and you will get a link just the way you got the link for this session. So I would highly encourage you because it's a great session. I have attended Professor Deepa Mani's session. She's a brilliant professor. And if you want to get a feel, if you want to get an experience of what does it take to study with an ISB faculty, please go ahead and register for this session, and you would get an invite. And I would strongly encourage you to be a part of this session, which is on October 17, 5 p.m. All right. So now we start with the presentation. So basically in the year 2016, World Economic Forum, they came out with a statement that in the Industry 4.0, which we call it in the fourth industrial revolutions, only the nimblest companies will survive. And what it tries to say is that people who are, or companies which are able to adapt to the changing environment, to the changing technologies, only those companies will survive. And what does it mean for us and an individual? For us, it means is that our lifelong learning should be our constant companion. We cannot hope to finish our education at one point of time and not reskill ourselves or upskill ourselves. Because the trade of the game right now, the game of the trade is right now is that we need to keep reinventing ourselves. We need to keep reskilling ourselves, because only those people who are constantly re-educate themselves will continue to find jobs. And that's what World Economic Forum said in the year 2016. And that's what we have been seeing, that the environment is changing constantly, and we need to upskill ourselves to keep ourselves relevant and to stay ahead in the career that we have for ourselves. So that's an important quote that World Economic Forum said, and I thought I just want to bring it here. And executive MBA is a stepping stone in a lifelong learning journey. And I would make a case that why executive MBA is a stepping stone. So I will be talking about that in this session, in this presentation. Now, if I would have been in an offline session, I would have asked you to guess this place. It's a beautiful place at ISB Hyderabad campus, where many of us, many of the people, students, staff members, they come and sit at this location and have a discussion with their friends, with their peer mates and all that. So this is the place where they come together and build lifelong network, lifelong friendship by coming and having a cup of coffee with their friends. So this place is called Atrium, and it's a beautiful place of ISB, and this typically it's called a heart of ISB Hyderabad campus. And if you ever come to ISB Hyderabad campus, this is a place that you will never forget. And that's many people associate this place with ISB campus. So I thought when you decide to come into this program, you would get to see this place. And it's a beautiful place because throughout the year, no matter what season you are part of, if you sit in this location, you'll always get a cool breeze of wind, and that will act as a refresher. Whether you are in a summer, or whether you're in a rainy season, wherever it is, a lot of people want to sit at this place and have a conversation with their friends and network. So that's one of the places to look forward to if you decide to take up an admission into ISB programs. But why ISB has a reputation as it is? I will talk about the brand, why ISB is able to maintain that brand. And one of the factors that ISB is able to maintain that brand is because of the governing board. We have who's who of governing board in the ISB's governing board, right from international personalities to national personalities. And they are the reasons why we have been able to maintain the quality, why we have been able to maintain the brand and the recognitions. So that's one of the factors that gives advantage to ISB. And if you decide to assess the brand or any recognition of any of the business schools, maybe first thing that you should do is to figure out who are there in the governing boards, because these are people who help us to keep the quality of this program high, and that is the reason we are able to maintain the quality. And these people are the reason we are being able to maintain the brand, and that helps once you graduate from this program. The kind of brand that you get by associating yourself with ISB, it helps not only in your career but also wherever you go as a part. Once people know that you have been associated with ISB. I will be taking those Q&A in the second part of the session, so hold on to your questions. I know a few people are asking those questions, so I will be taking those questions in the second part. So as of now, let me complete this presentation, and we will be taking those questions in the second part of the session. Another thing that helps ISB stand apart with other business schools is academic partnership. We have partnership with Kellogg School of Management, with Wharton School, with MIT, Fletcher School, and London Business Schools. So what does these partners do? The partners basically help them design our programs. They help them design our courses and curriculum. So whenever ISB decides to launch a new program or launch a new course, our faculty in these institutes help us designing the curriculum, designing the course, and that's how we are able to maintain the quality of the courses. Whatever courses we are teaching, all these courses inputs come from these partner schools, and they help us in defining the curriculum, the courses of any of the programs that we launch at ISB. And ISB, it's a young institute. It was founded in the year 2000. And because of its young institute, we have state-of-the-art infrastructure. Now, the building that you see right now, it's a LRC. It is called library. And for me personally, it's one of my favorite places because I love reading books. And if you come to campus and if you are any part of the day, the library will always remain open, and you would see people burning midnight oil and studying at this place. So that's another beautiful place you would get access to if you decide to become a student of ISB or the PGPMAX program. You can come to this place, to this library, any time of the year, any time of the day, and you would find people studying here, and you'll get a lot of books there. I mean, that's another important aspect of this library, is that the kind of management or business books that you get, it's an immense collection that you have, and invariably, whatever books you find, you have access to those books in this library. So you have the access of, as a student, as an alum, you can always come to this library, and if you want to learn something new, this is the beautiful place where you can come and learn. So what are we getting into? Well, let me talk about a few features of PGPMAX program, and then I'll talk in detail about different aspects of this program. So it's a 12 weeks program, and this 12 weeks is spread over 15 months. It's a class size of 70 students, 70 to 75 students. So it's only one cohort size of in a year, and one cohort has 70 to 75 students. And the format of the program is such that you come to campus for 1 week, and you complete 2 courses, and then you go back to your hometown and come back after every 5 to 6 weeks. So 1 week you complete, then you go back, and after 5 to 6 weeks, you again come back and then complete your second week. Then you again go back for 5 to 6 weeks, and you come for third week, and you stay on campus for third week. And that way you complete those 12 weeks. And those 12 weeks you complete in 15 months. It's a 15 months course, but during these 15 months, you stay on campus for 12 weeks, and these 12 weeks are spread over 15 months. And each of the week that you spend, you finish 2 courses. So 1 week you finish 2 courses, and similarly in 12 weeks you complete 24 courses. So there are 24 courses to complete during this program, and 12 weeks is equal to 12 modules. So basically what we call it, 1 week is 1 module, and second week is second module. So that way you complete 12 modules, and each module you complete 24 courses. I will be talking in detail about those 24 courses in the later part of the presentation. We also have international immersions. We have 2 international immersions, which means that 1 week you spend at Wharton Business School in the USA, and the second week you spend in Asia. Now, in Asia, we will be letting you know which country. As of now, we had been going to CEIBS in China, but because of coronavirus scenario, the China international immersion leg is cancelled, but we would be going to some other Asian country. Most likely it's going to be Singapore or Hong Kong, but that school is not yet finalized. We will be able to finalize as the time progresses, as we see the coronavirus scenario stabilizing. So we will be going to one of these countries in Southeast Asia, but there will be 2 international immersions, 1 week in USA and 1 week in Asia. And you will be learning 2 modules in each of these international immersions. And the theme of the program is focused on strategy and leadership. Its theme of the program is focused on developing your strategic thinking skills and developing your leadership skills. Now, it's not a specialization. There's no specialization in this program. The focus is on general management skills. Because the objective of this program is to help people get the general management knowledge. So the focus is on developing the strategic thinking skills and leadership thinking skills. So there's no specialization particularly towards finance or marketing or operations, but you would be learning the courses on in each of these fields. But the overall aspect will be to develop your strategic thinking skills and develop your leadership skills. So that's the theme of this program of PGPMAX. So what is there in the curriculum? So these are the few courses that will be taught as part of the curriculum. There are 24 courses that will be taught, and the courses that is highlighted in blue, those courses will be taught at ISB, either at Hyderabad campus or at Mohali campus. The courses that is highlighted in golden color, those courses will be taught at International Immersion Leg. So the courses that you see is Global Strategy and Organization and Innovation and Entrepreneurship, that will be taught at Asian leg of International Immersion. And then there are other courses, the courses which is highlighted in golden color, those courses will be taught at Wharton Business School's Corporate Strategy, Mergers and Acquisitions, and Competitive Marketing Strategy. So these courses will be taught at International Immersion Leg. But other courses which is highlighted in blue, they will be taught either at Hyderabad campus or in Mohali campus. And if you want to know the detail about all these courses, what will be taught, I would strongly encourage you to go to our website. And on our website, there's a detailed description of each of these courses where you would get to know what will you be learning as a part of these courses. So If you want to get a detailed information about each of these courses, I would strongly encourage you to go to our website and get an understanding of what topics will be covered in each of these courses. This is an important aspect because one of the key features about attending any of the executive MBA program is the curriculum, what you'll be learning, what kind of courses will be taught. So you should know what kind of courses you'll be learning, and the detail you could find on our website over there. And then we have global content, which is international immersion. I talked about, we have 2 international immersion. So far, we have been going to SEEPS China and Wharton Business School. And as a part of this program, you would be going to 2 different locations. One definitely will be Wharton Business Schools in the USA, and second will be in Southeast Asia, mostly Singapore or Hong Kong. So here I would like Nilima to share her experiences because she has been part of these international immersion. Maybe Nilima, you want to talk about what was your experiences when you had traveled to these international locations as a part of this program?
Sure. Thanks, Narottam. So 2018 cohort, we had the opportunity to travel to US and China for our international immersions. Wharton and Kellogg as well in the United States, and we went to SEEPS in China. And as Narottam has mentioned, at SEEPS, the courses that were taught, one was innovation and entrepreneurship, and the other was the global strategy and operations. So with respect to the innovation and entrepreneurship, we had several industrial visits, and we also visited the innovation center in China. And we had the opportunity to interact with the senior management and the teams in those centers to get a sense of how is innovation really promoted in China, what are the government schemes, and how does the industry really propel the growth, and what kind of innovations are in the pipeline, and what innovations have really made it big, and how are the industries promoted. So it was a great learning in itself. And of course, the faculty, it's very eminent professors. The interactions with them are very valuable. The same with Wharton as well. The faculty that you would be engaging, hopefully it would be Professor Harbir Singh and Mr. Jagmohan, Professor Jagmohan, and both of them head certain departments, right? And they have great network in the industry in the US, and they facilitated those interactions. And the kind of simulation exercises that we went through were also fantastic. And common across all of these campuses, whether it's international immersion or whether it's at ISB, is the opportunity to work with several groups, right, within the cohort, the peer learning, and the kind of simulation exercises, the kind of case studies, the kind of solutioning that you have to go through. It was fantastic in SEEPS as well as in Wharton and Kellogg. And the campuses are beautiful. And the network that you get introduced to is phenomenal. So it's not just the faculty there, but also there are several departments in Wharton that work on corporate governance and even social impact and so on. And all of these are part of the World Economic Forum as well, like the quote that Narottam had in the beginning. So you have this unique access, and it's a lifetime access that's established for you. And it's then upon us, how we take these networks and relationships to the next level and make them count in what we do in our career growth and our professional growth after ISB as well. So even now, I constantly am in touch with all the professors, and they help us network with several other industry leaders as well. So that's a phenomenal, unique value proposition that you would have when you go to these places. Your network grows from a national level to a global level. I could take more questions on this, and I could go endlessly, but given the time constraints, I'll hand it over back to Narottam here.
Sure. No, we will take up the question in the second part of this session. So let us first complete this presentation, and then we will take the questions. Thank you. Thank you, Nilima. Moving on. Another key aspect of the PG Max program is the faculty. I mean, Nilima did talk about faculty, but I wanted to highlight about this faculty, the kind of faculty you will be studying under this program. These are like top notch faculty across different business schools in the world. They will be coming to ISB, or they will be at the international immersion component segment, and they will be teaching you. And being a student of these faculty, it's kind of a different kind of experiences. These are the top faculty, and they have a different style of teaching. And being part of that classroom, you experience some kind of magic happening when you study from any of these faculty. Maybe Nilima, you can talk about one of your experiences of any faculty that impressed you the most, and probably our participant can help us. They help themselves connect with this slide. If you can talk about your experience of the faculty at the PG Max program.
Yeah, absolutely, Narottam. I mean, it would be an unfair question, to say someone who has impressed us the most, because the entire lineup of, these global faculty is impressive, right? And they're phenomenal in what they deliver, ranging from, we have Bruce Allen, who came for the economics, and we have Professor Sridharan for accounting, and then we have Simi Kedia, and Rajni, Professor Rajni. I still am in touch with her because of her interest in social impact area, and Professor Kale, of course, global reputation in terms of the strategy course that he takes. And he's so much in demand that we always keep getting him back on for webinars, especially after COVID. He's done so many webinars where he's given great insights into how can one reinvent, rebuild, and revive these businesses, right? How do you think strategically about those things? So being in a normal situation is one thing, but how are you adapting to new normal? And more importantly, how do you create the next normal yourself? Right, so these professors can guide you to that extent. And of course, we have Aksa here, who talks about strategic alliances, one of the very important topics, be it in corporate world or in the the non-for-profit world. So every one of them. And then we have Professor James Albright, who talks about the powerful teams, right? The high performance teams. How do you manage those within your own settings? So the learnings from each one of them, and of course, Professor Sunil Chopra, he's been a great inspiration, especially for me. He's from the Kellogg School of Management. And he really motivates, encourages, and all of these professors, it's not just applicable to one, but they encourage feedback. And we could always, go back to professors and ask them, could we make our engagement or our interaction in this manner? And they were open to it. But, what they deliver and the way they deliver and their openness to take suggestions, even from the cohort, and then, contextualize it, was really endearing for us. And Professor Jayanand, of course, he was the one who had come to SEEPS for the global strategy and operations. Yet again, a very fantastic and impressive professor who really gave us sense into how do we really look at strategy, right? When you're looking at it from a global perspective. And yes, so most of these professors, you would really have like one powerful key takeaway from them that would stay for the lifetime with you. And that's happened with me, who doesn't even come from a business background.
Yeah. Nilima, you there? Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So, I come from a not-for-profit development sector. I've been with the government and so on. So even when I came into this world of business, I could really pick up all the principles very easily. And that's because of the way they deliver it, right? And their efficiency in terms of how they interact and how they make all of this very easy for us. So I think it's a lifetime experience to interact with such eminent global faculty. Back to you, Narottam, again.
Thank you, Nilima.
Yes.
Moving on, what does a typical week look like? So again, one of the questions that we get is that what does a typical week look like? So here's a schedule of a typical week when you come on campus, and how does your next 7 days you spend on those campus. Here's a typical schedule looks like. So you typically arrive on Friday evening, Friday night, and your classes start from Saturday. 7:30 is the time when you start with the breakfast, and then the first course, let's say marketing, starts. And there will be 2 sessions of course one before lunchtime, and after lunchtime, we two sessions of second courses. And that way, you have 6 days where you study those 2 courses, and each courses have two sessions. And your classes typically gets over by 4:30 and 5 p.m. And after that, either you have project assignments to complete, or there's some industry people, they will be giving a talk. You can attend those sessions. There will be career sessions also. I will be talking about those career sessions in the later part of the presentation. And the best part of this typical week is that you get to stay on campus. You get to stay on the executive housing, and that's where you interact you interact not only with your classmates inside the classrooms, but you also interact with your classmates in those student villages or housing that you stay on campus. And those experiences of living together and studying together, that helps you to build lifelong friendships. So that's another important component of this program, is that you get to stay on campus, and for those 7 days, all of you are together, all of you are studying together, all of you are living together, and you do that over the 12 weeks, and that way it helps you build lifelong connections, not only with your classmates but also with your professors who will be on campus during those days. So Neelima, you want to talk about any of the experiences that you had? You want to pick about one particular week and how your week looked like when you arrived on campus?
Sure, Narotha. So even if it's a PGPMAX program, the rigor is the same as that of the PGP, right? So the classes start at 7, 8 in the morning, and then they go on till 6:30, 7 in the evening. But you don't feel that, it's exhausting, because it's very interactive. And apart from the conversations that you would have with the professors, the peer learning experience is the most amazing when you're in the classroom, right? So you get to work with different groups within the cohort, and that improves your relationship building with your peer. And as Narottam mentioned, lifetime, and it's like, a lifelong relationship that you've already established. And apart from just the classes, and in the beginning, if you can recall, the atrium that Narottam mentioned about, besides being one of the most beautiful, epicenters of the campus, it's also a place which is like, a meeting place of, of course, the great minds that are there on campus. But you get to meet very interesting people. You can get into interesting conversations. You could very well walk into your next, the partner that you could be, engaging with, either in a corporate or your entrepreneurial initiative. Or there are so many clubs that PGP, run, which are like fantastic in terms of entertainment, be it, or in terms of, interest groups like finance, HR, you name it, and you have an interest group on that particular subject and discipline. So that opportunity to interact with all of them, right, in the evenings. And the campus is so beautiful. The campus is so vastly spread. You could go for walks, and you could like really rejuvenate yourself after the long day through these walks on campus. And you have these peacocks on campus as well, besides the human beings. And there's a lot of, this flora and fauna that could really mesmerize you. And there's so many activities as well that you can interact with industry speakers, or and even building relationships above and beyond your own class with the PGP cohorts, and easy access, walk into any professor on campus that you would like to, because they're all on campus and they all have their offices where they're working till late nights, and they're very accommodating in terms of allowing you to walk into their offices, have conversations about the topics that you're interested, give you advices. So that's the beauty of, being on campus here. And of course, in 1 week, while we go through this, the curriculum that is so engaging and it's also very aggressive, we do happen to take time out every Monday. We are on campus on Saturday. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we have this dinner, the gala dinner that we call, where it's not just the students, but the faculty are also invited. And I mentioned about Bruce Allen. He must be what, Narottam, 70 years now old, but he's so enthusiastic and he's so much spirited that when we have the gala dinner, and there is this mirror pool that you would see when you come on campus, which is right in the middle of the executive housing. And sometimes it's filled with water when it's raining, otherwise it's like, dry. So that would be our party, zone. And you would see faculty, shaking a leg with us. And you would see the faculty hanging out with you, the faculty singing. So we have a lot of them, like Amartya Lahiri, who takes the global macroeconomics and who also is an advisor to the RBI. So we have faculty which is advising these kind of larger institutions that make such path-breaking policy reforms, industry reforms, and so on and so forth. So even they are amidst us, and they are beautiful singers as well. So it's an enriching experience. It's like well-built and whole-rounded experience, if you will. It's not just about curriculum being in the class learning it, but you have that critical thinking and that integral thinking and all of that coming into your life. And it's a transformational experience, I would say. That 1 week, you would be so rejuvenated. When you go back to your office, you will be like kicked up about getting back to work and doing the best you can. You're truly motivated. And this is not an overstatement. I wouldn't even say understatement, but it's a good statement to make. Back to you, Narottam.
Thank you. Thank you, Nilima. Moving on, I want to talk about the pedagogy, what kind of teaching you will be going through as a part of this program. So first is, once you get an admit to this program, you get online preparatory modules, and these are like Harvard preparatory modules. Basically, these are the courses, some few foundational courses that you have to go through before you attend the classes, before the program starts. So these preparatory modules will be courses related to accounting or finance or mathematics, statistics, because the idea is that since most of you would be away from studies for a long period of time, these preparatory modules help you understand or refresh your basic concepts which you learned at your school days or at your office, at your undergrad days. Because you would be studying some advanced level of these concepts in the process classes, it is advisable that you come prepared with those by finishing those courses. So that's what online preparatory modules are all about. Second is pre-course reading material. The idea is so you will be given certain kind of reading material before you attend the classes. Any classes, any courses that you will be attending, before attending that courses, you will be given a lot of reading materials. You are expected to read those materials and then come into the classroom and then attend process lectures. And the reason why you want to go through those reading material is because it's typically the case study method, because professors typically pick one particular case study and you have to be a part of that case study discussions. And if you have not done that case study readings or any reading material that was given to you, maybe your learning may suffer, or maybe you may not be able to understand what professor is saying. So that is what expected for you, of you, that you went through those reading material, you went through those pre-course material that is given to you, and then come into the classroom and then participate in the case study discussions and then get the best out of that classroom experiences. And the fourth is simulation, which Nilima also talked about, that it's a kind of software where you have to take certain decisions and you get the impact of those decisions. Again, in a virtual world, you get to see the impact of the decision that you're taking. So that's another aspect of the pedagogy that you will be going through, that you will be going through the simulation exercises, you will be asked to take certain decisions, and you would be able to see the impact of the decision that you've taken, again, in the virtual world, and probably that will give you some kind of learning that what kind of decision you can take in a real life scenario if you have to take a similar kind of decision at your office and at your workplace. So these are the three core principles of the learning that you will be going through as part of this program. And then we also have career services. This is something that we have added from this year. The idea is to help students get job search related skills after they graduate from this program. So what will be offered as a part of career development services? One, there will be executive coaching. So each one of you, each one of the students will be assigned a mentor, will be assigned a guide, and those mentor and guide will guide these students in terms of whatever career aspiration that student has. And these coaches can be industry seniors or can be PGMAX alumni itself, who coming from the same industry or same background. And you will be interacting with that coach, with that guide on a regular basis, and you will be discussing your aspiration, and the coach and guide will mentor you in terms of how you want to go about achieving the goals that you have set for your career. So that will be offered under executive coaching. There'll also be career development sessions where these sessions can be, there'll be industry talk where we will be inviting some industry people, or we will be inviting some executive search firm. They will be giving a talk about how do they go about, finding top management leadership in any particular organization. So you will be interacting with industry people. You'll be interacting with people who are, from executive search firm. You will also be having a sessions from people who would be talking about how should you go about building your resume, or how you should go about building your LinkedIn profile, how you should prepare for the job interviews. So these kind of sessions will be offered as a part of these career services. Now the idea is to help you prepare or get all kind of skills that is needed to find your next job or whatever career aspiration you have. That's through these services we want to equip you with those kind of skill sets that will help you achieve those career goals and career aspirations. So all those things will be offered under career services. Then there's industry diversity. The class will be full of people from different backgrounds, people from IT, people from finance, telecom, automobile, consulting. Our goal is to have a diverse set of classroom. Although we get a lot of application of people from IT background, but we deliberately want to keep a class of people coming from different background, different industry. And that's what we want to maintain in the diversity. And the reason why we say we want to have this diversity, that is an important component of this program, because the learning is a case study discussion basis, right? And when you have a case study discussions, the person coming from finance will have a different perspective than person coming from real estate background. A person coming from education background will have a different perspective than a person coming from, let's say, IT services background. And in that case study discussions, when you will be hearing different people's perceptions, then that's what peer learning is all about, which Nilima also talked about, that apart from what you learn from your professors, you also have that peer learning, and the industry diversity, the diversity of the class that we try to maintain gives you that peer learning, and that is an important component of this program. So that's something you can look forward to when you are part of this class. You can expect people coming from different background, and once you hear their perspective of certain topics that professor is teaching, that will give you a different perspective, and the kind of learning you'll have will be altogether to a different level. So what does the class profile looks like? Typically, the class will be of 70 students. Average age will be 40 years. There'll be average work experience will be around 16, and you'll have probably 17 plus industry representing that classroom. So that's the typical class profile you'll have. And the pre-EMBA average salary or pre-PGMAX average salary of the class is typically $251,000 at PPP, purchasing power parity exchange rate. If we convert that into Indian rupees, typically comes out to be around 50 lakhs. So that's the average salary of people entering into the classroom for the PGMAX program. Nilima, you want to talk about class profile of your class, what kind of diversity you had, and you want to talk about the experience you have of the participants in your classroom?
Sure, Narottam. So we were a class size of 70, including some of the earlier batches who joined back with us. So 71 to be more precise, but we had representation from IT, from finance background, from legal background. So we had few doctors as well in our class. And we had CXO level, then we had senior management, then we had founders in the class of various entrepreneurial initiatives as well, who were trying to take their initiatives to the next level and next level, and so on and so forth. And also in terms of the gender, right, so we were 12 of us versus the other 60 members in the class. So which was also a good number considering the kind of trend that we've had from the founding batch That was in 2011 till all the way to 2018 when we were on campus. And so that peer learning experience was yet another, very transcending experience for us. And each term you were, positioned in a very different group. So you get to interact with every other individual in the class and get these diverse perspectives when you're looking to solve for a particular problem. How do you come with different perspectives? How do you get the worldview? So that's something that you develop, right? And that, I mean, it's not like we wouldn't have the worldview before, but then you're enhancing it, right? You're enhancing with different lenses that you start to apply. And then that open-mindedness that we already have, and as we absorb these different perspectives, it enriches our overall perspective. That was one of that, and I would like to go back to one of the aspects that Narottam mentioned about, the learning material that's given to you. Sometimes it's as big as 800 pages, and you're on the campus spending with your peers, your cohort colleagues, up until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, solving for these assignments and everything, which is again a great experience because you tend to take back those learnings back to your workplace again. You could bring, so we used to all bring our the problems that we are engaging with at our workplaces, bring it to the table, and then get views from everybody, try to hash it out and take it back to work. Even in terms of the way you express about all of this, your language that changes. We had this Professor Chidambaram who would be like, after this class, if you're, the terminologies that you use, if that doesn't change, the way you articulate, any of these situations doesn't change, then you haven't learned anything. And the day of our graduation, I've had former dean tell me, it's time for you to unlearn, right? So that's a constant process at ISB. You're learning, you're unlearning, and again, you're learning. So which makes you, more effective in what you're delivering at any place within the community. So back to you, Narottam, again.
Sure. Thank you, Nilima. Very helpful. So I talked about the average work experience of the class is 16 years, but let's see what is the typical break of those 16 years. You have a class where people will coming from 10 to 12 years of work experience. You'll have a class where people coming from 20 plus years of work experience also. And the reason why I wanted to put this slide, because people in the 10 to 12 years category, they typically feel apprehensive and they say that, oh, would I be a fit into this classroom? And I say, if you see this slide, I mean, we have a good number of people from 10 to 12 years of background. And the reason, and there should not be any reason of feeling that apprehensions or having that hesitation if you're coming from that 10 to 12 years of work experience category. And we have around, in a class of 70, we have around 9 to 10 people coming from that work experience. And if you are from that work experience, I mean, maybe this is kind of proof that there are people from 10 to 12 years of work experience. And if you want to participate in this program, you are eligible and you can go ahead and apply it. And who knows? If you become a part of this program, you would always find this classroom a kind of inspirational for you, because most of the people in the classroom will be above you in terms of work experience, and you will always look up to those people. So although, as I said, the average work experience 16 years, but if you see the breakup, you have a good number of people coming from 10 to 12 years of work experience, and people also from 20 plus years of work experience. So I thought that will give you some kind of perspective where you are and what kind of people you can get once you're part of this classroom. But how does it help in terms of career? How does it help your career once you graduate from this program? And this is the data that we got from Economist. Economist did an EMBA ranking, and we participated. ISB PGPMAX program participated in that ranking, and ISB was ranked 47th. And that's the data coming directly from Economist about ISB. So it says that 80% of alumni of PGPMAX were either promoted or they grew their company within 2 years after graduating from PGPMAX program. It also said that the time people entered in the classroom and the time people graduated from the classroom, their percentage increase in their pre-MBA salary was 40% during those after that graduating from the classroom. And after 2 years of graduation, their percentage increase on the pre-EMBA salary was 63%. So that's again data coming from Economist. And the average salary of most recent graduating class is 352,000. Again, in terms of purchasing power parity exchange rate. So if you convert that into Indian rupees, it will come to close to around 70, 75 lakhs. So that's typical, average salary of the people graduating from the class. So if you see people who entered in the classroom and people who graduate from the classroom, the increment that you typically have is around 40%, and that can help you understand what kind of impact you would get if you decide to be a part of this program. So I thought this would be something you'd find very useful. So let's
Narottam,
talk. Yeah,
a
Nilima,
quick
you want to talk
correction. We are ranked for 43rd.
Oh, sorry, yes,
The
43rd.
Economist, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So, and I want to talk about a few alums of the PGMAX program. Again, you can see their journey, how their journey shaped up after graduating from this program. So Dr. Mahesh Joshi, he was a member of PGMAX founding class. When he joined, he was an executive co-chairman of Society for Emergency Medicine India. And now he's the CEO of Apollo Home Healthcare Limited. We have Snigdha Ghoshre. She's from class of 2015. When she joined, she was the Associate Vice President at ADB Private Limited. Right now, she's a Senior Director at PayPal. We have Vajanti Mala Belsare. When she joined as a student of PGMAX, she was Senior Manager at PwC. Right now, she's a partner at BDO India. BDO India is another accountancy consulting firm, and it's on the similar line of KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, and EY. And then we have Firoz Muhammad. When he was a student, he was Senior Vice President at Hitachi Consulting. Right now, he's Chief Operating Officer at Hitachi Consulting. He grew in his company after graduating from this program. So you can see people shifted their companies, people get promoted in their own companies. So these are a few examples that I thought I'll share with you, which will help you understand what kind of career you can expect after you graduate from this program. One thing that I also want to talk about is startup incubation arm of ISB. Now, what does startup incubation arm does? Basically, it's a platform, it's a forum where people who are interested in starting certain ventures, starting a business, they can be a part of this incubation arm. So the incubation arm at Hyderabad, it is called D Labs, and incubation arm at Mohali campus, it is called AIC, which is Atal Incubation Center. Now you can associate yourself with these incubation arms and you can participate in all these sessions that these incubation arms conduct over the course of the year. So once you associate yourselves with these D Labs or AIC, you would be able to participate in the session that they conduct. And these sessions can be session conducted by IC faculty or session conducted by entrepreneurs or venture capitalist firm. They come and they talk about the different aspect of running a business or running a startup venture and all that. So if anybody of you have entrepreneurship, aspiration, you can be part of this D Labs and AIC, and you can get benefited out of the session that they keep conducting throughout the year. And not only as a student, as an alum also, you can be a part of these incubation arms and get yourself benefited by the session that they conduct. So that's an important aspect I thought I wanted to highlight because quite a few people eventually want to become an entrepreneur after graduating from this program. And this forum gives you a good platform where you can interact with like-minded people and exchange ideas and kind of get feedback with whatever ideas you have in mind and get started with your venture or maybe scale up your venture with whatever state you are in. So that's another important component that you can have from ISB. So here are a few examples of PGMAX alumni entrepreneurs. We have Rajni Kasu. She is in class of 2014. Right now, she is the CEO and co-founder of Zippy. Zippy is a electronic platform for car rental services, and she's the co-founder and CEO of this company. She started this venture after graduating from PGMAX program. We have
Narottam, can I add
sure.
there?
Absolutely.
Sorry to interrupt. So Rajni, soon after the Zippys is like a outstation rental car services, right? So after the pandemic, they were quite hit, right? So they went to like rock bottom. So they quickly pivoted and now they have launched using their backend system, DocRite, which is a telemedicine platform, which is trying to take telemedicine to the second and the third tier towns. So that's what they're engaged in. They're one of our partners in delivering good quality healthcare in the small town of Telangana state. So that's how, it's also that, they've received the support from ISB and it prepares us to pivot ourselves into the new directions, right? Strategically, even when we are in this VUCA atmosphere or even during crisis, right? How do you innovate? How do you reinvent yourself and quickly come back, spring back into action? So I think Rajni Kasu is a example and a testimony in that direction. Yes, back to you, Narottam.
Sure. Thank you, Nilima. I have to be mindful of time because you told me that you have to leave at 6 o'clock. So I'm just trying to complete the slides so that, wherever I, but anyway, you still have 5 minutes so we can try to wrap it up and then we can take the Q&A. We have Manav Gaur. He's from class 17. Before joining PG Max, he had this one Monoset Consulting. So he joined as an entrepreneur, and after graduating, he was able to scale up his business. So he got benefit out of this program, and he was able to implement the learning, and with that learning, helped him to scale up his business. And now his business is across not only India but outside in Europe and in the US also. So that's where he's getting his business from. And we have Harsh Singh, Nilima's your batchmate. Currently, he's a founder and CEO of Quilin Advisors. When he joined, that time he was a technology lead at Accenture, but now he started his own venture, and currently he's a founder and CEO of Quilin Advisors. So that's another example of entrepreneurs PG Max program. But more than that, I also want to talk about the alumni network. And that's another benefit that you get out of this program, is that you are part of this huge alumni network, or ISB. I mean, ISB has 11,500 plus alumni network. And out of that, 550 plus are CXOs and top leadership roles. 79% are spread over across India, and 21% are different parts of the world. And we have different chapters. And these chapters are basically city-based. We have 9 domestic chapters and 5 international chapters. And whichever locations you are, you can be a part of particular chapters, and as a part of those chapters, you can participate in all these events that these chapters conduct. And these events are typically alumni networking events. So you can part of those networking events, and you can go to these events and kind of get acquainted with different people of different classes, and that way you get to know different people of ISB alumni network, and that way you build your relation. You also have 11 special interest groups, and these special interest groups are arranged as per different industries or functions. So these SIG can be in the form of, let's say, HR SIG group, or technology SIG group, or education SIG groups. So these are different SIG groups. You can be a part of one of these SIG groups based on your industry. And again, these SIG groups keep conducting a lot of sessions, and you can be part of those sessions and get benefited out of these talks that these SIG conducts. And of course, you see this part of, again, the kind of alumni network, PG Max, that they have. These are who's of who of corporate, Indian corporate. And once you become part of these alumni network, you can anyway connect with these PG Max alumni, and then you can take your career to the next level. And your learning does not stop while you're a student at ISB. Your learning continues even when you graduate from ISB. So these are lifelong learning. We continue conducting for alumni community, where we, of course, we do networking resources, networking events, where we invite professors of ISB and they take some sessions. We invite industry people and they take sessions for alumni community. So that happens under networking events. We provide career support services, where we offer alumni job portal and executive network to our alumni community. So you can get access to those job portals, and you can find jobs which are relevant to you. You can apply through those job portals. And you also have access to those latest thinking through alumni webinar series. These webinars, again, conducted by professors. It can be ISB professors, or can be our partner schools professors. They can come and they can conduct those sessions, and you can be part of these sessions, and you can keep learning as a part of an alumni community of ISB. Nilima, you want to talk about how people can best derive out of different resources and different network that ISB has, because you have gone through that experience. What advice you would have to people who want to get themselves involved with ISB? What should be the way to get the maximum benefit out of the different network and resources that ISB has?
Absolutely, Narottam. And I have already spoken in my earlier experience sharing during this session. But as Narottam said, these special interest groups, right? These are all run by the PGP students because they're on campus for 1 year. And there are clubs as well, like the Net Impact Club, and then you have the Women Leaders Club, then you have clubs and infrastructure, then for IT and finance and so on. So these are all the avenues that you have on campus that you could plan your time, because you're there for one entire week. And in between, this would be a refreshing break for you as well, and um, you know a, a way to strengthen your network, right? Expand your network, expand your horizons. And these clubs, SIGs, are always doing webinars with the industry leaders, or they're having these sessions with, like the transformational leaders or inspiring leaders in the industries and various sectors. So that's one way of, expanding your networks. And as I said, the faculty on campus, they're always available for any kind of a discussion with us. So that was one thing. And then we set up entity called, Meet, which was like a club, which is where we held we would call back the alumni onto campus to have discussions. We would invite industry leaders, we would invite board members to talk with us. And we had the good opportunity to talk with Mr. Rajendra Pawar, who's one of our governing board member and is also the founder of NIIT. And he's such a visionary leader, and it's a great opportunity, right, to engage with board members as well. And as I speak about this, there are also opportunities where you can be part of these kind of event developments as well, right? You can create those events, you can organize the events, and you also get the opportunity to engage with the community that's around ISB. There are several programs, there are several initiatives that have been, like an annual tradition. So many opportunities through which you can even give back, pay it forward, or engage in activities that can really enhance your career as well. So the campus, it's full of opportunities, but it's upon ourselves how we utilize the various platforms that ISB has to offer, not just within the country, but also with the global connects. And Executive Connects are a program that ISB organizes on a regular basis, the master class, back to classroom. Even after you become an alumni, you have the opportunity to come back to the campus and engage with this back to classroom experience whenever you want. You could audit the classes after you've graduated, come back and sit in the classrooms. So it's, once you are a member of ISB, you are like the lifelong member of ISB, and all these connects are there for you to stay and build upon. And before I leave, I would also like to say that, we are celebrating a decade of PGPMAX. We finished 10 years. And that's a great milestone. And as Narottam has mentioned, Mahesh Joshi from the founding class up until class of 2019, which was the class after us, which is now an alumni again. And we have class of 2020 on campus. But we've had, great transformations in careers that's, been witnessed over the 10 years. And on the occasion of these 10 years of PGPMAX, all the alumni and led by the class of 2020, we are launching a leadership summit where we are inviting leaders from across the globe to kind of, it'll be a confluence of thought leadership, cultural diversity, innovation, where you're trying to send out these powerful key takeaways during these times, unprecedented times, to the entire global community, right? So there is hope, silver lining, and how do we really, rise up to the occasion and revive all of this and contribute to building resilient communities and so on. With that intent, we are launching this workshop, the Leadership Summit. And also, Narottam mentioned about D Labs. So we are starting this Ballista 2020, or Discovery Zone, where we are arming the future founders. So the alumni are coming together to invite applications for entrepreneurial initiative from the ISV community and trying to help them launch their powerful ideas to the market. And that's our idea of giving back, right? And ISB gave us that opportunity where we are able to co-create this event and launch this event ourselves, which is a great thing, where we get the opportunity to network with the most ignited minds in the industry, to the likes of, so we have National Payments Corporation of India come to this summit, which is on October 31st and November 7th in the evening. It starts at 5 and goes on till 11. It will be a wonderful opportunity for you to witness what the alumni are up to and what they can do and they are doing. So these are all the various opportunities. This is just a small list of it, but when you join, you will be exposed to it, and it all depends on how you leverage and how you make the best out of that. And I hope all this information has helped you. And I'm so sorry, I will have to leave because of a meeting that I have regarding work. But I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions, and Narottam would be sharing the email ID if required. If anybody has questions, I'm more than happy to help you. So Narottam, thank you so much. And let me know if there's anything before I leave. But yeah, I think I've come to the end of the time here.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Nilima. You have been of great help. And yeah, if our attendees, any of the participants have any query, I will take their queries, or if they have anything, I will reach out to you on their behalf, and then you can address those queries. But because Nilima has to leave, she has a call to make at 6 o'clock. Already she's late, and that's why we could not ask her to continue in this session. But yeah, thank you, Nilima, and thank you for your time. We will continue with this session. I will continue with this session as long as you want. I will be taking as many questions you have. But as of now, I want to thank Nilima for spending some time and sharing her insights about this program. I'm sure this will have given you some kind of feel of how it takes to be a part of a student of PGPMAX program. So thank you, Nilima, and thank you once again. And we will reach out to you through email.
Yeah. Thanks, Narottam, and all the best to all of you. And best wishes, and be part of our leadership summit. Narottam would also share that information. So it would be great to have you at the summit. You can register for free and experience what we have to offer, right, as an ISB community. So all the best. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nilima.
Thank you.
So yes, I will be sharing with you the link of that leadership summit, PGPMAX Leadership Summit, and you would get an email, the email that you have shared with us, and on that we will be sharing you that details. You can register yourself for that event, and you will get a link and you can attend that session on 31st of October and 7th of November. So we will be sharing that detail with you in email. Moving on, I want to talk about funding and scholarship. Since ISB, this PGPMAX program is quite an expensive program, what does it take? How do people finance this program? One of the ways that people finance this program is through bank loans. And there's another way that you can finance this program through scholarships. So we have different categories of scholarship. If you are from Indian Defense Service professional, or if you're from PSU government sector, or if you're from NGO social sector, you can apply for that scholarship. Once you get an admission offer from ISB for this program, then you can apply for that scholarship. And there's a scholarship committee, and they go through your application. They see the merit of the application, basis that they decide who to get the scholarships. So, and typically the scholarship is about 10 to 25% of the program fees. So that's the range that you would get. And yeah, once you get an admission offer, if you're falling into any of these categories, you can apply for that scholarship, and you can get scholarship based on the applications. I also want to highlight that if none of you fall into these four categories, there's a merit-based scholarship. And if your candidature is really strong, you come from the background that we really want in the classroom, you can apply under merit-based scholarship. You can strengthen your case that why you're coming into the classroom will add a lot of value to your peer mates. Through that, you can apply that, and you can also get, as anybody can get as a merit-based scholarship. So you can reach out to us for any details on scholarship later on. But as of now, I just want to highlight that there's a bank loan and there's scholarship category through which you can fund the finances or the fee for this program. But I also wanted to break this myth. I mean, typically people believe that many people are sponsored by the organization. But that's the data that you see from over the years globally, that the percent of students receiving full financial sponsorship from the employer is going down. 5 years back, it was about 20%, 21% of students used to get full sponsorship from the employer, but now it is 15.6%. Similarly, around 35% of people used to get partial sponsorship from the organization, and now it is around 31%. So the trend that you see is that the sponsorship from the organization is going down, and that's a truth with ISB also. A lot of people are PGMAX students. They finance this program through self-funding or through bank loans or scholarship. That is the way they finance this program. They are, typically 15% of the class get some kind of scholarship or some kind of sponsorship from the employer. And that's the trend that is there with Global, and that's the trend that is there with ISB also. So many of you may have this impression that, oh, if my company is not sponsoring, maybe I may not be applied, because around most of the people are fully sponsored. But the truth is, only 15% of the students or 15% of the participants are fully sponsored. The rest of them are either use their own savings, or they use their own bank loans, or use their own scholarship criteria through which they fund this program. So I thought I want to highlight this slide because this will give you some kind of impression that it is not that many of people part of this program are sponsored. Many of them use their own sources to finance this program. But despite that, despite you see the trend of sponsorship going down, the number of applications, the demand for executive MBA is going up across the world. This is again the global trend that you see over the 5 years. The number of applications that an average school receive is going up. It's from 76 to 79, and now it is, now you see a typical school receive 100 applications for the executive MBA program. And this format is in demand across the world. If you see this, what Financial Times is saying is that more than 260 institutions now offer executive MBA programs. And about 65% of those schools have seen increase in applications for executive MBA. In fact, the 2-year MBA programs, the full-time programs, the application is going down, but instead the executive MBA applications are going up. So people like this format. People don't want to leave the job, but they want to pursue a top quality education. And that's why they prefer executive MBA option. And that's what you see, the global average, the trend that you see. Even at ISB, what we have been seeing is that the number of applications that we've been receiving over the last 4 or 5 years has been increasing. And that's what the global average that you see here. So that's the story. I want to highlight that this format is loved by most of the people who want to pursue quality education, and they are attracted towards the executive MBA. So if you are thinking that, maybe this format is suitable to you, maybe you're right, because you see that globally, a lot of people are adopting this format, and they're pursuing their top quality education alongside their work. But we get a lot of queries in terms of what are the factors that we should consider while choosing executive MBA. So I want to talk about a few factors. You may have thought about ISB executive MBA. You may have thought about some other executive MBA across the world. But to analyze or to decide which executive MBA program to choose, I want to talk about 6 factors that you should analyze, and basis those 6 factors, whichever schools stand out differently, maybe you should go and apply to that program. First is, of course, curriculum. What will be taught? How many modules are there? What all courses will be taught? That's something that you want to go through in any of the executive MBA program that you're assessing, because it's learning. You want to see what kind of learning you will have through this program. So curriculum is the most important criteria that you want to go through of each of these executive MBA programs that you are researching, and that would give you some kind of understanding that which executive MBA program will help you learn the most with the kind of curriculum that they have. That is one. Secondly, school brand. The brand matters. What kind of school you're attending, because the kind of the certificate you will get, you will be associating yourself with that school for the entire lifetime. So if the school has a good brand, the school has a good recognition, the school has a good reputation, that automatically affects your value in the market. Because if your resume is saying that you are an executive MBA from so and so in schools, and if that school has a great brand, a great reputation, your value goes up in the market. So you want to see what kind of brand you want to associate by going through that executive MBA program. That's second. Third, participants who are there in the class, because you want to spend those 12 weeks of the duration of that program with those participants. You want to see the quality of those participants. If they have top quality participants in the classroom, that means you have a greater chance of success in your lifetime, because you would be building a lot of connects, a lot of network with the participants of that classroom, and that network will help you going forward in your class, in your career. So you want to see what kind of participants are there in the classroom, and that should be another important criteria that you should have in deciding which executive MBA program you want to go about. With this network, what kind of alumni network you are part of? I mean, you want to be a part of, a good alumni network, because you will be connecting with them throughout your lifetime through different alumni networking events that school will be conducting. So if you have a great network, great alumni network, you can connect with those alums, and that again will help you going forward in your career. So that's another aspect that you want to consider in any executive MBA program. With this faculty, what kind of faculty will be teaching? Are they, only school faculty, or are they, top global faculty? Because that's another kind of experience that you have when you go through these executive MBA programs. The kind of learning, the kind of teaching you'll be going through these faculty, that will remain with you for a lifetime. And that's what Nilima also talked about, that with each faculty that you'll be attending, they have certain magic aspect of the way they teach, and the kind of learning that you have from that classroom, you will take that through your lifetime. So that's another important aspect. The faculty, what kind of faculty will be teaching, that's another aspect they want to consider to decide any of the particular EMBA program. And then finally, career services. You also want to see which EMBA programs offer career services, because you want to create an impact for a career. I mean, you want to get a good growth in a career. So if any programs offer, career services, not only as a student, but also as an alumni community, that will help you going forward in your career. So these are the 6 factors you want to think about while you're doing research, which executive MBA program you want to pursue. And probably once you do your research about these 6 different aspects, probably you will be able to figure out which school suits your need, and probably you'll be able to make up your mind about which school you want to enroll into. So I thought that's an important aspect in your research. So you should consider about these 6 aspects, and based on that, you should take a decision which program you want to be a part of. So what are the application deadlines? We have 2 application rounds. One is round 1, round 2. Round 1, the deadline is November 22nd. Application fee is 10,000. And then we have second round for March 21st. And whether you apply in round 1 and whether you apply in round 2, the classes will start in August 2021 intake. But there's a benefit of applying in round 1, because in round 1, we typically receive less number of applications, but the seats are more. So if you apply in round 1, you have a higher chance of getting admitted. So that's one. You have higher chance of getting scholarship also, because competition is less application. You have less competition, and that way you have higher chance of getting an admit, higher chance of getting a scholarship. And of course, the application fee is also less. Application fee is about 10,000 rupees. So that's all the benefit that you have if you apply in round 1, which is the deadline is about 45 days from now. So November 22nd, if you apply by that, you increase your chance of getting an admission. So if any one of you are convinced about joining PGPMAX program, I would suggest you not to delay. Go ahead and apply in round 1, because that way you will be assured, if you get a seat, you will be assured, and you can plan your rest of the days ahead so that you can start your class with full confidence when August 2021 begins. What does it take? What kind of requirements we need when you apply? So you need to have bachelor's degree. So make sure you have bachelor's degree. You also make sure you have academic transcripts of your all 3 years or 4 years that you have completed your bachelor's degree. If you don't have those transcripts, maybe reach out to your universities, reach out to your college and get those transcripts now, because we not only look at the degrees, we also look at the transcripts that you have in each of the semester or each of the year that you have gone through. So get those academic transcripts in place. We also need your updated CV and LinkedIn profile, as a part of application requirement. You have to upload your updated CV on updated LinkedIn profile, PDF format of LinkedIn profile. So that's what you need to upload that. As a part of application, we want you to submit 2 essays, and those essays are there in the application form. So you can go through those essays, and we pay a lot of attention to what you write in those essays, because as one of the criteria of getting an admission into this program is interviews, and your interviews are based on what you write in your essays. So if you want to see what kind of essay we are asking, what questions we are asking, go through the application portal, go through the application form, and familiarize yourself with that application form. And if you have any queries, reach out to us, contact us, and we are there to help you out, to help you submit strong applications. That's about essays. Then we also need professional references, or maybe academic references, somebody who can refer your professional strengths or weaknesses, or your benefits of by attending this program. So we need 2 recommenders, 2 references who will be writing references for you or recommendations from you. So that's another part of your applications. So if you decide to apply, figure out who can be those references. It can be from your organization, it can be from your if you're an entrepreneur, it can be your customer or your vendor, or if somebody who knows you really well, maybe if it is a professor of your universities, if that person knows you well, you can also put that person in references. So our criteria is someone who knows you really well as a professional. We are fine taking those people as as your references. Those two references we need. And then of course you need to have minimum 10 years of work experience. So you need to complete 10 years of work experience by July 2021. So by July 2021, if you are able to complete 10 years of your work experience, you are eligible to apply to this program, and you can be a part of this class if you complete 10 years of work experience by July 2021. So that's the criteria you want to keep note of. So what is it that you need to do now that if you decided to enroll into this program? One thing that if you want to do, you can send us your CV, you can send us your LinkedIn profile. Although it's not mandatory, but we can advise you how should you go about building your application. That's the only step we say, that if you want to share your CV, you can get an assessment of how strong you can submit your application. So by sharing your LinkedIn profile or CV, you can reach out to us and share a profile with us, and we can give you feedback basis which you can submit a strong application. You can contact us. We can strongly encourage each one of you who are interested in applying to this program to contact us during weekdays. And if you have any queries, reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help you out in submitting a strong application. Third, find your references. This is maybe the trickiest part is to who will be your references, who will be writing your recommendations. It can be somebody from your organization. It can be somebody from your previous organization. It can be somebody from your customers. They can be your references. And you need to put their details. Once you share their detail with us, we send them an online form to them, and they fill those online form, and basis which we see the kind of references that are right for you. So that's another important aspect of your application, is that figure out who will be giving you references or recommendations, and share those details with us in their application form. And from that, we send those form to them, and they submit their references to us. So that's another important aspect of the application. And then of course, start application. The sooner you start application, the better the chances of you submitting a strong application. It's a long form. It's a pretty lengthy form. It will take some time for you to fill up that form. So the sooner you start, the better you can. More time you have to make your application really strong, and that strengthens a chance of getting an admission offer. So that's our link, pgpmax.isb/user/. If you go to that link, you will be getting an access to application form. If you share that detail, you will be seeing the application form. So I strongly encourage you to familiarize yourself with that application form. And if you have any queries, reach out to us. I'll be sharing my contact details at the end of this presentation, and reach out to us, and we will be happy to help you out in submitting a strong application. So that's something you can take help of by reaching out to us and seeking our feedback once you started submitting or writing an application for this program. And ultimately, this is where you will end up to. Some people will, would have either promoted in the organization. Somebody would have changed their job. Somebody would have built a lifelong friendship. So that's you can expect by the end of this program, by this graduation ceremony that will happen at the end of 15 months. And yeah, for everyone, it's a different kind of experiences, different kind of transformation that you will be going through. And that's one of the moments that you'll remember by being a part of this program. And once you graduate, then you are being a part of exceptional PGPMAX alumni networks. I mean, we have, right now we have around 800 to 900 PGPMAX alumni network community. You become a part of that, and these alumni community keep conducting a lot of events in different cities or through virtual platform and all that. You can be part of those events, and again, build a relation with people of different classes, and that way you can connect with them and reach out to them, and that way you can be a part of this network, and that will help you going forward as your career progresses for the rest of your life and career. So that's another benefit you get. Not only the learning, but the part of this network will take you along throughout your career. And this is our contact details. My email, my name, Narottam Kishore. This is my email ID, Narottam_Kishore. It is not Narottam space Kishore. It's Narottam_Kishore at isb.edu. And this is my phone number. And here's my colleague Smriti also. She's Smriti_Gupta at isb.edu, and this phone number. So reach out to us. And yeah, if you have any queries, we can help you submitting a strong application. So I would strongly encourage you to reach out and take our help. So with that, we conclude this session. Now we'll open it up for Q&A, and let me see how we can do that. So some people have already typed the question, the Q&A, and let me go through that questions, and then we will open it up, or I'll allow you to talk, and then you can talk. Or let's do one thing. Why don't you raise your hand, and then I will allow you to talk, and then you can ask your question there itself. One second. Yes, Saurabh, 1 second. Give me a minute. Saurabh, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Saurabh, I can hear you. Go ahead.
See, sir, I have got around 17 year of work experience into IT.
Right.
Okay, and the varied roles I have done in product development. I've been part of service consulting all around. Okay, so
Right.
what after completing this course, I'll be around having 19 or 20 year of work ex. So do you see that there's a possibility of lateral shift after completing this course?
Within the same industry?
Across industry means moving as a functional leader rather than in IT.
Absolutely, absolutely. There has been cases of people changing the industry, right? You would get the knowledge of, let's say, finance. You would get the knowledge of operations or marketing and all that. So that's one. You'd also get to network with people of different function, different industry in your classroom. So that network will also help you. And of course, there'll be alumni network will be there. So the kind of knowledge you'll have, the kind of skill set that you'll build from this program, the kind of network that you'll be able to build this program, you'll have this newfound confidence. And maybe in the same organization, you can take different kind of roles, different kind of initiative, and you can perform well in those roles and in those initiatives. And that will give you a different kind of confidence. And once you start performing better, maybe in the same organization, you can shift to a different function or to a different domain. And with that experiences, you can move up to the functional head. That's what you said, right? You want to move to the functional head. So yes, this will give you a different kind of all kinds of skill sets and knowledge, and that will itself be given a lot of confidence to tackle business problems of different business functions. And once you start performing, you will be able to stand out in the crowd, and then top management can give you more opportunities in taking up different roles within the organization or maybe outside the organization also. So there have been cases at PGPMAX that people have changed industries, people have changed their functions, people have moved to different, they have moved to entrepreneurship role also. So it is very possible if you decide to move your function to a different business domain.
Okay, and subsequent question is, suppose this particular EMBA degree what ISB is giving, is it recognized for higher education in India, or it's because it's an executive MBA and it's a part-time?
Yes. So when you say higher education, you mean to say PhD, right?
Yeah, PhD or taking up some teaching or guest faculty in a reputed colleges or something like this in education field if you want to pursue career in future.
Absolutely. So if you want to take up teaching in a different in a different colleges, being associated with the ISB and being associated with this program will give you different credentials, a credential that you can use in using that in teaching. But when you talk about PhD, and if you say that will it be considered equivalent to a master's degree for a PhD? It will not be considered equivalent to a master's degree for a PhD program. And the reason is ISB is not recognized by government, and since it is not recognized by government, the degree that we award is not recognized equivalent to a master's. It is equivalent to a master's degree, but the government institute, government university don't recognize it as a master's degree for somebody who wants to pursue a PhD program.
What about ISB? Will ISB recognize this for higher education?
For which program?
FPM or some other program?
Absolutely, absolutely. They will.
Okay. Last question, sir. What is a normal payback period? Because this is a huge investment. So what is with the number of students and 10 years, 10 batches have passed out, what do you think is the normal payback period for an individual after attending this course?
So we talk about this slide where you see that typically after graduating from this program, the average increment in salary is 40%. And then 2 years, the average increment in the salary is around 60% or 63% that was there. So basis that wherever you are in terms of your salary, you can figure out what will the average, because people range, their salary ranges from, let's say, 30 lakh to a crore and all that to participate in this program. So their, payback will be different. But if you take that figure of 40% or 63%, probably that will help you figure out what will be the average payback period in terms of where you are in terms of salary and what growth you can expect. This is that data that economics shared with us, and that will help you figure out the average payback period for this program.
Okay, and the way I understand, the number of applicants in last year for this particular program, can you give me how many applicants were there? What is the success rate of applying?
So typically the ratio is 1:3. For a seat that we have, we typically get three applications per seat. So a class size of, if you want to have a class size of 70, 75, we will have application of around 200 to 220. That many applications we're expecting this year.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Aditya, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah. So what is the difference between the courses in PGP versus PGPMAX? Because this is catering to more than 10 years experience folks, right? So are there any stock differences in the course work?
Between PGP and PGPMAX?
Yeah.
So PGP is a full-time program. See, the average work experience with PGP full-time program is 3 to 5 years. So most of the people will range from 3 to 5 years. The curriculum is also designed basis the participants of the class. So the curriculum will be a different level of people who are into 3 to 5 years category. The number of courses in PGP, the full-time program, is more. The number of courses in PGP is 32. Number of courses in PGPMAX is 24. But the curriculum of PGPMAX is different from the curriculum of PGP. Because the class participants profile is different. PGP has a class participants profile of 3 to 5 years of work experience. PGPMAX has a class participant profile of people of average 16 years of work experience. The focus is more on developing for the PGPMAX, focus is more on developing your general management skills, leadership skills, or strategic thinking skills. Whereas in PGP, you get to have a learning of those core courses, but after those core courses, you specialize either in finance or strategy or operations or marketing. There's a specialization there because we believe people want to move into a particular function after graduating from PGP, but we believe that from PGPMAX people want to move to the senior level where they need to have a knowledge of different business functions and they need to have a knowledge of strategy of different business functions. That's where these two curriculum is separated out of it because PGP has said it's
my question was this is basically more focused on the experience, leveraging also the experience of these folks from a case study and is
Absolutely.
less theoretical and more on the cases, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and the 12-week thing that will require complete time off from the office work. How usually that works?
Yes, so that will require complete time off from office work, and the reason, that's the reason we ask letter of support from the companies where, so let's say you're working in a particular company, we would ask you to submit a letter of support from the employer. And the reason why is we say that because while you're on campus, it will be difficult for you to continue working for your office work. It will be a rigorous 1 week while you're on campus, and it will be difficult for you to take out time for the office work. So that's where we believe that it is important that you have the support of the company, and for that we ask letter support. So yeah, while you're on campus, you're expected to study throughout the time. When you're on campus, you're not expected to work. I mean, you can work, but if you work, then your study will get affected. And that's where it is important that you talk to your organization, talk to your employer. And if you need any help that how to talk to employer, how to talk to organization, we can share some resources with you, and you can use that resources, and that will help you prepare when you go to your employer and talk about that your intention of pursuing this program, and that will help you prepare well before you go to your employer and request for a letter of support for this program.
Okay, and Narottam, can you share the email ID for Nilima? Ash.
Absolutely. Can you send me an email on this, and I'll respond to that email.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Those are my questions.
Okay.
Thanks.
Ajit, you have a question? Ajit Pansalkar.
Yeah, hi. Could you elaborate on the startup incubation support that you mentioned? What kind of support is that, and what is it?
All right. So there's a startup incubation center, which we call as D Labs at Hyderabad campus. And we also have the AIC, which is Atal Incubation Center at Mohali campus. Now it's a forum. You can be a part of this forum where, once you associate with this forum, you will get access to all the sessions that these forums conduct. So there can be sessions of, let's say, new product launch. Some professor will be teaching about how you should go about launching a new product. You can be part of this session and attend the session, get benefit out of it. There can be another session of how you should raise funds. So some, let's say, venture capitalists will come and talk about their experiences of how they go about funding any organization. So there will be multiple sessions that these forums conduct, and as a student, as an alum, you can be part of these sessions and get benefit out of it. That is one. Secondly, once you become a member of this forum, part of this forum, again, it's used as a networking platform. You get to interact with people of different, different industry, different functions, and you can exchange ideas. You can share your ideas. You can bounce off your ideas with them. You can get feedback with whatever you want to do. If you have any entrepreneurship aspiration, you can get feedback on that, and probably you can refine your goal and refine your ideas basis the feedback that you get from this forum. So this is a platform forum where you can be a member of it, and you can benefit it out of this different events that they conduct. Now, as a student, it will be difficult for you to be a part of this forum, because when you are a student, you come to campus for a week, and during those weeks you will be attending those courses. But outside those week, if you can take out some time and come to these, you can be part of it. But as a student, it will be difficult for you to take out time during those weeks when you're on campus. But as an alum, once you graduate from this program, as an alum, you can anyway, reach out to these D Labs, reach out to this AIC, and be a part of that forum network, and then again participate in any of the sessions that they conduct. So this is what this D Labs or Startup Incubation Labs performs for people at ISB.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Hi, Abhiraj. How are you? You can ask your question.
Hello. Hi, Narottam. Thanks for arranging for the session. Really appreciate that. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, great. So my question was this 12-week mandatory attendance, which is required, and for any unforeseen reason, you're not able to attend for any particular week or for some time. Is there any provision that you guys make, or how do you cover that up? I just wanted to know that.
Yes. So let's say of these 12 modules or 12 weeks, one of the week you're not able to attend.
Yeah.
What happens is that you miss that week, but you complete other modules other weeks. The week that you have missed, you complete that week of that module with the next incoming class. So the class of 2022 who will be joining, and whichever module you have missed, you are supposed to complete that module with that next class. And once you complete that module, then only you get the certificate of this program. So it is not that even if you miss any particular module, you can complete, you get the certificate. You have to finish that module with the next incoming cohort, and then you graduate from this program.
Okay, that's great. And another question is with regards to the career services. You said you will assign a mentor. Will that happen during the course of the program, or how?
During
the course of the program, yes. Okay. These were the two questions, Narottam. Thanks. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so I request everyone to raise your hand. I know people have been typing their question in the chat box and the Q&A box, but I request you to raise your hand, and that's where I will allow you to talk, and then you can ask a question. Yeah, Yaman, how are you? You can go ahead and ask a question.
Hi. I'm good. Just one question I had regarding the transcript piece.
Right.
You said that the all semesters I did a mass media sort of a course where there were a lot of subjects, and every semester there were different subjects, etc. So what I want to know is, particularly when you say that semester wise a mark sheet, typically, I know it wasn't awarded given to me at that time. There was like a cumulative percentage score which was given in each semester. Is that something that is sufficient, and of course a degree certificate at the end of it, which at the end of the course with the degree. Is that sufficient, or do you want like a breakup of each semester when you say transcript?
So when I say transcript, I mean what all courses you completed, and what are subjects you completed, and what kind of marks or grades you got for those subjects.
So that is pretty much the breakup of each
Yes.
subject.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think I'll need to then sort of ask, like you said, I think we need to then get in touch.
Yeah. So just make sure that I mean, whether it's semester or maybe term wise or year wise, just make sure that whatever courses subjects you learn in that program, you should have the grade or marks of those courses. That's basically mark sheet. Mark sheet.
Got it. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. That's all.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, again, I request people to raise their hands and I'll allow you to talk, and then you can ask me question here itself. Some people have typed their questions. I'm not sure whether I've answered those questions, but if I'm not able to answer those questions, please go ahead and ask your questions now. Raise your hand and I'll allow you to talk, and you can ask me directly over here. Yes. Suraj, you are allowed to talk, so you can ask me a question. Suraj Apartment.
Oh, sorry, it's Rupesh here.
Yeah, so your name comes at Suraj Apartment, so that's why.
Okay, sorry for that. So this year I got to know that PGPMAX is not taking GMAT scores. So, but in terms of having a good to have a profile, so having a GMAT score will help.
So we don't require GMAT, but if you have taken GMAT, you may want to submit your GMAT score. But if you say, oh, do we need to have a GMAT score? No, we don't need to have a GMAT score. But if somebody has taken a GMAT, and if you think that by taking a GMAT, it will strengthen your application, go ahead and do it. Share your GMAT score, so you can do that. But it's not a mandatory requirement, it's optional. And anyway, let's say if somebody has taken GMAT and that person has got, let's say, a good score, maybe 600 plus or 700 plus, and you can anyway submit that score, because that's kind of you're showcasing that academically you're good, and that's why that GMAT score is reflecting that you're academic wise that you're good, and it's a good score, kind of strengthen your application. So that's where we suggest to submit it. But if you've not taken it, and if your academic performance is weak, and if you have to compensate that, if you say that, oh, how can I compensate my academic performance if it is weak, maybe taking GMAT now and getting a good score can compensate your weaknesses that you had in academics. So that is the only criteria. I mean, that is the only reason why you want to take a GMAT now, but there's no mandatory requirement to take a GMAT.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Right. Yes, I don't see any else raising their hand. Does anybody else has any other question? 1 second. Yes, Gautam.
Yeah. Hi, Narottam. Gautam this side.
Yes.
I have a question on two parts. First is that I'm from Indian Air Force, and I'm into engineering branch of it. I will be completing my 20 years of service next year. So one thing, how is this going to help me? Second aspect is that I've already done my executive MBA from Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi University. So, with these two aspects, how this PGPMAX program will help me out. And second is, how is your PGPMAX difference from PGP Pro? Because that's one course which I was looking for. And thirdly, which all places your campus, you said there will be a 12-week for the campus, which all campus will be offering it? Is only Hyderabad, or it can be Hyderabad or Mohalla?
Sure. Gautam, right? So your first question was how PGPMAX will help me, right? You have already done executive MBA from FMS. How is it going to be different? Now see, executive MBA, wherever you do, the kind of curriculum will be almost same. The courses that you'll be learning will almost same, executive MBA program. The difference that you get is from the faculty. The difference that you get is from the class participants. The difference that you have is from the faculty, network that you have. So the participants, the people who will be there in the classroom, that will add a lot of value in terms of your learning. As Nilima was saying, is that you not only learn from your professors, but you also learn from your classmates. And that's where the PGPMAX will help you, because the classroom will have people of average work experience 16 people. So a lot of people have a lot of experience in their, different industries or different business functions. You'll get to hear from them. You get to hear from them, what does it take to be a, let's say a general manager of a particular industry? What does it take to be, vice president of a particular industry? So that knowledge will help you figuring out how to move to a corporate career. Now, since you're coming from Indian Air Force background and you want to move to a corporate sector, you will be able to build a lot of connect in the classroom, and that connect will help you figure out that whatever skill sets you have as an Indian Air Force personnel, how you can use that skill set in a corporate setting. And since those guys will be senior people, you will be able to reach out to a lot of different companies at a senior level through these networks that you will build. And that way you can make your switch from the defense sector to a corporate sector. And the reason why I'm saying that there have been a lot of cases at PGPMAX where people coming from defense background and they have been able to move to corporate sector. Although they focus, sometimes their focus is on defense industry, even the corporate sector, but they also move to entrepreneurship also. So that what I'm saying is that the class participants that you have, that will give you a lot of feedback in terms of how you want to shape up your career after graduating from this program, and that will be a big post, that will be a big resource for you to move to a corporate sector. That is one. Secondly, you asked me about how is it different from PGP Pro. Now, PGP Pro is people having work experience between 5 to 12 years. So that's typically the average work experience of people of PG Pro classroom. The average work experience of people in the PG Pro class will be 8 to 9 years. That's the average work experience, whereas in PGPMAX is 16 years. So you coming from, let's say, 20 years of work experience, you will be able to connect well with people in the PGPMAX rather than PGP Pro, because PG Pro, a lot of people in the classroom will be very junior to you, and maybe you may not be able to connect well with them. And as I said, since PG Pro is relatively junior, the kind of network that you'll have with PG Pro may not be as enriching as the network that you'll have with PGPMAX, because the average work experience PGPMAX is 16 years. The kind of network you'll build with the senior people, and that will help you kind of get a suitable job for your profile, somebody who has a 20 years of work experience. So you'll be able to get those leads, get those connects from the PGPMAX better than in the PG Pro program. That was the second question. I missed your third question. What was the third question?
Third question was where you told two campuses on
Yes.
Mohali and Hyderabad. Which campus will this be happening?
Yes. So there's only one cohort, one batch, and this batch will study together, which means that if the class is happening in Hyderabad, all this batch will be studying in Hyderabad. The class is happening in Mohali, all this batch will be studying in Mohali. There's no two different batches. There's only one batch, and there are 12 weeks. Out of 12 weeks, as of now, 8 weeks are in Hyderabad, 2 weeks are in Mohali. 1 week is in Wharton Business School, and 1 week is in Asian International Emotional Lab. So that's how this module is spread over different campuses. 8 weeks, 8 modules will be in Hyderabad, 2 weeks will be in Mohali, 1 week will be in the US, and 1 week will be in Southeast Asian country in Singapore or Hong Kong. So that's how you'll be studying together and traveling together.
Yeah, just one follow-up question on this.
Sure.
Like you were saying that why I was asking between PGP Pro and PGPMAX was being from the defense, our skill sets are a little different and may not be in sync with what is required, and as on date, though it's a different skill set altogether. So I was talking in terms of the outlook which will develop after going through the course. You need a basic background wherever our training is on a very different scale and the working is on a different scale. So that's why I was asking in terms of curriculum, that something which, we need to start from the basics and, propel ourselves up. Since I've already gone through one executive MBA, so I have an idea of how different is. So how does the curriculum of both these courses go vis-a-vis? And follow-up question on this is that, okay, let's say in my own wisdom, I decide to go for PGP Pro, but you said the working experience cap is there. So does it make me eligible or not eligible? Both answers, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so curriculum is different between PG Pro and PG Max. As at the PGP Pro, the focus is more the middle management people who are the middle managerial level. The curriculum designed for people who are the middle management and they want to, consolidate their career at that level. So that's what PGP Pro. PG Max curriculum is different people who are, at the upper middle management or senior level. So that's the curriculum design according to that. Now, how is it different in the sense that of course you can go through the curriculum, you can go to our website and see what learning you'll have in a PG Pro and PG Max. But the fact is, see, both courses will touch upon foundation, will touch upon basics. Before you enroll into this program, you will be given some foundational courses of marketing or finance or accounting. So you will be able to build your foundations before coming to the classroom itself, right? And you will be able to build on to whatever you've learned from those foundation courses into the classroom, because classroom will be at a maybe at a at a senior and advanced level, but you would be given enough material for you to go through that and build your foundation, and so that whatever professor is teaching inside the classroom, you can relate, you can connect that with them. Now, your apprehension is that, will I be able to, the kind of skill set that you have, will you be able to relate to whatever is taught in the PG Max program? I mean, there has been cases. I mean, as I said, there have been cases that people coming from defense background and they have, they have benefited out of it because they have been able to relate with whatever they have been doing in the, defense service, and whatever is taught in the classroom, they have been able to relate that, and they get that learning, and with that learning, they are able to make a successful switch in the corporate sector. Maybe, see, there are certain specifics in your profile. How is it going to help, particularly to you, somebody who's coming from Indian Air Force? You can reach out to me. I will connect you people from defense personnel who have graduated from this program. Maybe those are the guys who can help you, give you that how you're learning at, as a defense personnel, how you can complement that learning with the learning of PG Max. So those are the guys that can help you. So you can connect with me later on, and I will share those contacts with you, and you can talk to them, and that probably that way you can get into the specifics, and those guys will be able to answer those queries about how is it going to, or whether you'll be able to relate to whatever will be taught in the PG Max classes. Your question of whether you're eligible for PG Pro, you are eligible. Although, see, we say that it is 5 to 12 years, but if you still think that you want to go to PG Pro, we don't stop people who are above 12 years and you don't PG Pro. My only thing is that there may be a situation that you may get frustrated because since people will be relatively junior to you, maybe you may not be able to connect well with those people, and the kind of you want to have a classroom where you want to feel inspiring, we want to feel inspirational, and probably the feedback that you may get is that since you're not able to connect well with those guys, and that's where you don't want to feel disappointed. So that's why I don't encourage people who have 20 years of work experience to go to PG Pro program. But if you have if you think that no, PG Pro is suited for me, you can go ahead and apply to PG Pro program.
Thank you.
Politicians make policy.
Sirisha, hi. You have a question.
Yeah, hi. So I work for Deloitte in Hyderabad, and I wanted to check, is it mandatory residential, or is there an option where any particular week, if we can't be on the campus, we can travel from home?
So I tell you, we encourage people to be on campus. And the reason why we say that we encourage people to be on campus, let's say your classes gets over by 5 p.m. and the professor gives you some project to submit by, by next day morning, 8 a.m. Now, you will not be submitting that project all alone. You will be studying in a group. You'll be a group of 5 to 6 or 4 to 5 members. And as a group, you work on that assignment. As a group, you work on that project. If you stay on campus, then it becomes easy for you to contribute to what that group is doing for that part of that assignment project that they are supposed to submit. If you stay outside campus, if you're in Hyderabad, nobody's going to check whether you're in your room or not. But if you decide to go out of campus, maybe you'll not be able to contribute to that group. And it may happen that four of your group mates studying together, and you are at your home and you start studying separately, or maybe you try to collaborate with them online and try to submit that assignment, probably you will not have that experience, that the experience that you want to get out of this EMBA program. You will miss that part, because one of the best part of the PGMAX program is that all of the students stay on campus. You stay on campus together, you study together, you submit those good projects together, you submit those assignments together, and that's the fun in that. I mean, that's kind of learning you have by studying together and contributing the project together. That's the reason we say that you have to stay on campus. Of course, I mean, if you decide to at 8 p.m. if you decide to go out of campus and go to your home, nobody's going to check that. Why did you go to your home? It's not a school. You have all the freedom, but you'll miss staying outside the campus.
Understood. Another question, you said there's a final, there's an exam conducted at the end of each module, I believe.
Yes.
So what is the typical exam? What is the typical exam like? Because the course as such is more case study based, and in addition, I just wanted to understand what kind of an exam is conducted.
So exams can be different format. Exam can be multiple choice questions. Exam can be essay type questions. Exam can be a group assignment project also. Exam can be open book also. The professor will give you a question paper and say, oh, go through your books and whatever you want to take help of. Exam can be at your home also. It can be different way of exams. For some courses, they may not be exams also. So there's a different format. The format of the exam is decided by the professor. Now, sometimes your exams will happen at the end of that week. Sometimes your exam will happen at the start of the next week. So let's say this week you completed accounting course, an accountancy course. It may happen that professors say, go through these materials. And when you come back in the second term, your second term will start with the exam of accountancy course. And once you finish that exam in the first half, the second half you start with the courses of that term too, and that's how you go ahead with completing that second module and all that. So exam is there. You need to complete that. You need to clear that exam. If you don't clear that exam, that means you don't graduate from this program. And if you don't graduate from this, you don't get the degree, right? So just by attending the classes, just by coming to the classroom, does not mean that you have graduated. You get a certificate of this program. You have to go through this evaluation process. And only when you go through this evaluation process successfully, you get a degree, you get a certificate, and that's how people can get a degree, because there's an exam and you have to clear that exam for each of these courses.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, please raise your hand if you have any more questions. I'm still here. I can take as many questions as you want. Yes, Amit, go ahead.
Hi, Naratham. Thank you. Naratham, can you little bit talk more about merit-based scholarship?
All right, sure. So merit-based scholarship is, if you don't fall into any of these categories, you can apply under merit-based scholarship. Now I'll tell you what is the criteria that we use to decide who deserves scholarship under merit-based category. Now, one of the important aspects of this program we talked about is the industry diversity, or people who can add value to the class, right? So we actively look for people who can add value to the class, people who can add value to their batchmates, the classmates, and all that. So that means that if you come from a background, and if you, in the merit-based scholarship criteria, if you say that, oh, my profile is this, and if I am part of this classroom, I can add a lot of value, not only into the discussion, but also to my peer mates, because that's what we want. In the classroom, we want people from diverse personality, diverse background, diverse industries. We want to maintain that diversity. So if you can showcase that you bring a lot of value into the classroom, and if you can show, that's what you have to highlight, that when you apply for the merit-based scholarship. And if we, the scholarship committee, kind of get convinced that this person, if this person into the classroom, that person can add a lot of value to his or her classmates, and that person can improve the learning of all the peer mates. We get convinced, and then we try to encourage that person to get admission into this program by offering scholarships. That's what merit-based scholarship. That if you're a strong candidate, go ahead and apply under merit-based scholarship. And if you're convinced that this person will get add a lot of value to the classroom, we go ahead and offer merit-based scholarship to those candidates.
Thank you. Narottam, can I ask one more?
Yes, yes, Amit, go ahead.
So yes, you have told in your presentation that for the future venture or the job prospect, you people are preparing another things, which is add on with 2020. But what is your opinion with respect to pandemic? There is a very immediate drop in every sector. So what is how you are going to prepare to the next batch that they can overcome this lots of expense, because the fees structure is too high. So what do you suggest or what do you think? I understood that you people have already taken care and you have considered everything, that these challenges has to be taken care by the next batch. So what are the proposal you are thinking, and you can tell little bit about that also?
See, this coronavirus scenario is not going to be stay permanent. It's a temporary, right? And I tell you what is happening this year. We have been receiving a lot of queries for this program this year, especially as compared to last year. And this is a realization that people are having, that this is a time where they need to upskill themselves. This is a time where they need to re-educate themselves. And that's a realization is coming to a lot of people, and because of that, we are getting a lot of queries, a lot of interest for this program. So people know that coronavirus is a temporary, problem. It will go away, but during this time, you need to learn, you need to upskill yourself, because once situation improves, once situation becomes normal, you are all set, you are ready, you are ready to add value, or you can ready to perform better in your current organization or wherever you go. And although pandemic is there, but as I said, people are seeing this as an opportunity to re-educate themselves or re-skill themselves, or upskill themselves, so that once the situation improves, they are in a better situation to make a mark as compared to somebody who has not done much during this pandemic. So all I'm trying to say is that although it's a setback for the entire humanity of this coronavirus, but this is a time that people are upskilling themselves and try to educate themselves, because once the situation improves, they are going to stay ahead of the peers who did not upskill themselves during this time. So it is there, but as I said, the very fact that a lot of people have started reaching out to us and they have started showing into this program, it's kind of validates that statement that this is going to be a temporary phenomena, and people who can upskill themselves during this time, they will stay ahead, they will stay relevant post this pandemic, when the situation normalizes.
Thank you, Narottam.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't see any more hand raised. Does anybody has any other questions? Please ask me. I'm not reading. Yeah. Sri Krishna, 1 second. Yes, Sri Krishna.
Hi, Sri Krishna here.
Yes.
So I have a couple of questions. One, you had mentioned that there'll be a couple of essays that needs to be submitted, right? Can you please share more light about it? And regarding career services, so will there be any companies who will be looking out for people passing out from this program, or is this the support from the career services team that people can take from?
Okay, so let me talk about these essays. So there are 2 essays that you are supposed to answer. First essay is what is your motivation behind pursuing this program? How this program is going to help you? So you have to talk about why do you want to take this program? How it's going to talk, because we want to take people who are motivated, people who know that this program is going to benefit them, and that's what the first essay is trying to find out, that answer. That is this program is going to help this candidate? Is this program is going to this person, is that person motivated to enroll into this program? What is the reason for taking this program? So you want to understand that motivation. That's what first essay talks about. Second essay talks about any particular situation where you solved difficult problem, and how did you go about solving that problem statement, and what impact it created in your professional and personal life. So basically, we want to understand your problem solving abilities. How did you go about solving a particular problem? Because as you move up in the career ladder, I mean, you have to keep solving different kind of problems, because the more problem you solve, the more successful you become. And you want to see one of the problems that you've solved in your current, in your previous, let's say 2-3 years, or previous 5 years, what kind of problems you've solved, and how did you go about solving that problem, and what did you learn from that? Because that is one key trait we expect from these participants, that going forward, they will be solving a lot of problems, but we want to understand how they go about solving that problem. So that's the second essay that that talk about the problem that you have solved and how did you go about solving that problem. So these are the two essays that you have to answer, and these two essays will form the basis of your interview. I mean, your interviews will not be any technical interviews or will not be any academic interviews, but your interviews will be based on what your work experience is, what you've written in your essays, because we want to understand your motivation. We want to understand whether you have problem solving abilities, and whether you can add value to the classroom. So these are the things that we keep in mind while interviewing any particular candidate. So essays and application forms the basis of your interview. So that's what essay is all about. There's a third essay also, which is optional essay, which we say that if you want to add something else where you have not been able to add in any different section of the application, you can use a third optional essay to put forward or state that and make your application strong. So that's the third essay one. So that's about essay. Your second question was career services. So yes, the companies will not come on campus and recruit any of the PGMAX students or PGMAX alums. So it is a placement service where companies coming on campus and recruiting a candidate. Those placement services is offered to a full-time MBA students. Those full-time MBA students don't have a job. They have left their job and they are on campus for that full 1 year. So that's why we offer that placement service to them, where companies come on campus and give them a job offer. The PGMAX students, we don't expect people to leave the job. We expect people to continue while they are studying. And while they are working, they come and study for those 12 weeks. And since they have a job, and since they also get a letter of support from the organization, it is unethical on our part to encourage the participants to sit in an interview by any companies and all that. So that's the reason any executive MBA program across the world or in India, they don't offer placement services. We offer career services, career development services, where the objective is to equip you with all job search related skills, or to make you feel confident if you decide to go out and find your next job. So those career development services is aimed at developing all those skill sets that will make you feel confident if you decide to go out and find your next job. So that's what we aimed at when we offer career development services. Placement service is different, where companies come on campus. That is offered only to full-time MBA students, not to any of the executive MBA students at ISB or across India or across the world. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. And one question regarding essays: is there any word limit?
Yes. So the first and second essay has a 300 word limit. The third essay, which is optional one, that is 500 word limit. So you can add more content with the third essay, which is optional. But the first and second is 300.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Does anybody has any other question? Please raise your hand and I will allow you to talk, and then you can ask me that question. Yes, Ashwarya.
Yeah, one question. You mentioned that you have some loan facilities available or scholarships. I mean, that will come once the application is approved. Like, who helps to contact? I mean, you have a tie-up kind of thing with some of these banks, or?
Yes. So once you get the admission offer, and then if you reach out to us, we will provide you contacts of those banks where we have tie-up, and you can connect with those banks, and those banks have share their terms and conditions for the loan, and their loans terms and condition would be better than what they offer in the market. So that's why we encourage people to reach out to us if they want to take a bank loan. They get contacts from us, and we share those contacts, and the kind of terms and agreements that you get from them will be better than what they offer in the market. So we strongly encourage people to reach out, and the tie-up that we have, take benefit of those tie-ups.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm just seeing if anybody else has any question. Yeah, I don't see anybody raising their hand. Does anybody has any other question, please? All right, looks like there's no more question. Okay, so this is my, if you've seen my contact details, my email ID, my phone number, reach out to me. If you want to talk in detail, if you have any specific queries, reach out to me on this number, on this email ID. I will be happy to help you. If you want to start your application, if you want to submit your application, I would strongly encourage you to take our feedback. See, we are not the ones who evaluate your application. There's a separate team which evaluate the application, but we are the ones who assist people in submitting a strong application, because we have good amount of experiences in helping people submit a strong application. Take advantage of our help, and if you decide to apply, I would strongly encourage you to reach out to us and take our feedback, because basis our feedback, you can improve your application, you can strengthen your application. That will increase your chance of getting an admission. So do reach out to us, and people who do reach out to us, invariably they stand a good chance of getting shortlisted for the interview, at least I can say that. So take advantage of it, and yeah, I hope you get benefit out of it. So yeah, it's great catching up with all of you, and I hope you found this session informative. I hope you found this session beneficial. If you have any further questions, reach out to me, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you on campus in August 2021 once you decide to enroll into this program, and we'll be there, and I look forward to seeing you over there. Right. Thank you very much, and